little rascals fell asleep. You notice that old gum sticking to their shoes like crushed leeches. Who does? I'm very glad that we are on the same page on this. Describing an abandoned carbohydrate gum won't make anyone come. So, let's skip to the next line. Have you noticed the gravel mixed into the gum base? The off-white sand, the synthetic waxed elastic fiber. In the South Bank, there is only one place where such a politically symbolic floor is laid. St. Pavlov Foundation. Just like every day in the past, it's very lively here in the square. Speculators who advocate mankind's supremacy try to get the attention of the Foundation through demonstrations. They are on the same side. However, the Foundation won't give them what they want. They even sent a little girl to go through the motions. Yes, no one will ever ignore them. They are honey-colored. They are the morning sun in California. They are the dazzling spot on the dough that you'll never catch. For those hypocrites, the little girls are a delicacy they want to get their fingers on. Luckily, this little girl is not one of them. She was nervous but not panicked. She doesn't seem to be good at dealing with these slick politicians. The mission capsule of the Foundation was squeezed hot in her hand. And on the other side of the square, a little girl in a black suit is looking here gloomily. It's close to the Foundation's air outlet, the best place for her. A position that is too marginal to be marginal. That's the best portrayal of the second-generation immigrants in the 20th century. She is the good girl you already know. Orange hair. When she's deep in thought, she turns her pen like a nimble ball in a magician's hand. She is puzzled at the guys shouting around her, but there's light in her eyes as if she's expecting something nice. Is it the next task in the mission capsule? Is it the people she's going to meet? Her cheeks are a little rosy now. The thing in her hands was loosened too. This is a good chance. The hot wind from Africa blows towards Trapani. Then the whole of Sicily becomes dry, warm, and comes alive. The air smells like tropical corals and wild oranges. That is not what's supposed to happen this winter, but it's been in her mind, lingering, dancing, reminding her to keep on living. She used to be desperate. Defeat after defeat. Her vigorous vitality won't fade away, though. At least, not now. What are you doing? Why did you pick up that cold, opaque, opalescent glass wine bottle from the ground at this most critical moment? The scream outside the parking lot, the friction between the brake pads and the wheel drums, or the story unfolding like giallo films. Obviously, none of them are as impressive as this bottle. I can tell that you've got good taste. You know it's not easy to get this stuff these days. But why are you staring at the bottom and licking your lips? Tell me, you don't want to have a drink, do you? This is not a wise choice. You can't see the color of the liquid inside the glass. Maybe it's not the ice wine, or beer, or any homemade alcohol. It's probably, very likely, just a critter's snot. Even so, do you still want to give it a try? Every carbuncle you've ever met will appreciate your courage. Now, some cold liquid runs through your throat. It trickles slowly, most likely because it's thick, but the taste is much smoother than you think. Then, a faint scent of absinthe greets your nostril, and maltose, and lemon thyme, and coconut sugar. It's as delicious as a present from the arcanist from New Zealand. And at the same time, your heart swells and you feel a scorching energy fill your windpipe. Your vision begins to blur. You kinda see the rough letter on the bottom, the Walden Potion Bar. Of course it's not alcohol. Alcohol is a mysterious taboo, but it will empower you to face the next damn reality. Me. Ha! I am no one. But I can also be anyone. A drunken, slovenly old man. A cleaner in a rundown hotel. A fund manager greedy for more. Or a cute spinning crystal skull. Now I'm a drunkard with good taste, just like you. And the day when we formally meet each other is coming soon. Now, lift your big ass and continue your wonderful journey. I will appear at any time, any moment. No matter you expect or not. Mrs. Greco puts down the phone. She is now as calm as any Italian mother you've ever met. You know, they're usually making a yummy pie before they pull out their guns. There are enough people in black outside, enough to prevent any eavesdropping or violent conflict. Mrs. Greco glanced blandly over the 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 11 children in front of her. This is a big family, and it has grown bigger and bigger over the past few years because of Schneider. She's Schneider's biological mother. You see her furrowed face like a hard stone wall, while inside the wall is all about a pious farmer's life. The Grecos are not good at dealing with gang affairs. They can't even figure out when their daughter grew to be the backbone of the whole family. When Schneider took out $500 from her pocket and put them on the table, they were completely shocked for the first time. Schneider, the youngest daughter they seldom cared about. It's impossible to keep every child well fed. Schneider could not even get a piece of bread in the Eucharist. But a good daughter will not let anyone worry. She sat on the bench outside the church and hummed. She found a way out for herself. She walked to the underground market, fascinated. She announced her new identity one day. The bread provided in some sacred religious ceremonies. According to different teachings, it's sometimes matzah, sometimes fermented bread, or sometimes any kind of bread. Now, Mrs. Greco said, we live or we die. If Schneider comes back safely tonight, we will leave when the moon rises. The doors in front of us are closing one after another, but the benevolent Maria will give us the ultimate shelter. My children, remember today forever. Her words speak for her status, but Mrs. Greco's eyes never moved away from that small Madonna on the table. Her clothes were soaked. 4 p.m. A family is determined to start a new journey. You are back here again. Maybe it's telepathy. Maybe your soul is out of your body. Maybe... Anyway, you're back here. In the dark woods, the huge oak trees crack in front of you. Dry and pungent fumes billow out. Flames swallow a lot of things. A lot of money, a lot of lives, family laughters, and a pair of eyes that once looked to the future. Dead skin, dead fish, upturning fishy scales, desperate, the wailing wails of aquatic animals being boiled in the sea. Your palm tingles, those upside-down towering barks like frightened cats trying to save their last bits of dignity before death. Your touch makes them fall. No muss, no fuss. They've planned for this. They don't like fire, and they don't like staying on the cross for a long time. You still have so many questions you haven't asked her. But before you could, the war had begun. I like you being positive. Your optimism will help you achieve your goals. Get with the impossible girls, pay the bills, and probably become the greatest pacifist. Oh, did I just mention the girls? Just in case I need to add a few more. So get with the impossible girls, boys, elders, transgenders, cute radios, assheads. Enough. What we said tonight is just between you and me. What an intriguing plot. Cavendish Sr. must be surprised. Oh, it's a surname buried in dust. It has been shot by history. Even the living Cavendish Jr., who once sat in front of you, has taken off this crown. Forget-me-not. That stupid name is so damn humorous. That young master with a pale face died. His insidious expressions grew day after day. He passed through countless hunger and suicide, and the only thing left was decadence. That woman gave him a promise. She said a few words to forget-me-not, and then traveled north and disappeared in the fog. The Windy City was an unwanted sarcoma which she left behind. Only when the gun is pointed at his throat can he see exactly what's in his brain. Therefore, he grants himself the freedom to revenge, and to die. Now the sarcoma belongs to him. He swears to build a magnificent stage there. He is patiently waiting to put his meanness, craziness, and quivers under the sun. Let's rewind the time to a few years ago. Awesome. Your lofty ambition that a boxer would have is exactly what we need. But unfortunately, I can't take you to the future. Oops. I could, but now I can't. Now, another person is going to do this. But before we solve this big mystery, I think it's necessary for us to sort out the principal contradiction. Trust me, you won't regret reading this story. I will never be offended by your humor. Okay, the past is waiting for us to look back. It's winter in the early 20th century. The gloomy rain never stops. The square on West Jackson Avenue is alive with people. There is an Italian Renaissance-styled basilica. You rarely see so many people get together without making a sound. This is a Black Requiem Mass. The priest is chanting the Requiem, and the people mark a cross on their chests. He was a father. He dedicated to a sinner of, Lord shall give him eternal peace. A woman in a black robe turns to you and whispers. She turns back. Explaining this makes her unpleased. More and more people are queuing for the funeral. The square is alive with chants here and there. The Grecos are among them. They're covered by the dark cloud of long-handled umbrellas. Soon, their voices are replaced by whimpers. You can hardly tell whether their expressions are pleased or sorrowful. But you can't find Schneider. Look in the direction of Mr. Greco's broken left palm. Yes, it's wrapped with a bandage. 3,390 feet away from the crowd, in the shadow of the church, stands the girl you want to see. She is pale and thin, as if she has just recovered from a serious long illness. But her fist clenches, and a fire lifts in her eyes, fighting against the ubiquitous chants. You don't know why she looks so furious. Is she, 11 years old? And the Mass is about to usher in the ultimate climax. It rains heavier. The priest opens his arms to embrace the sky. The Lord be with you. And also with you. Schneider responds in a voice that could hardly be heard. She puts her hand on her heart. This is the first time she responds to the Lord. and it will be the last. You look nervous, and you all know something's gonna happen. With the brain's full of weird ideas, somehow you can feel it. It's your special talent. The talent comes together with your sensitive nerves and rich emotions. Things are getting messy. New friends and old friends come one after another. And here you are. Fog rises. It separates the black and the white, just like separating two groups of bulldogs. They're turning around and around, revealing their fangs as if they're trying to tear their own tails apart. Interesting choice. It fits you very well, little freak. You do have a distinguished head, with so many distinguished things inside. It's not bad. Keep that. Use it more often. Let's go back to your question. Fog. As for the fog, no doubt it's made by the barkeeper. It's like bartending. Put this in, put that in, stir them in a crucible, and you get what you want. It works the same as fog. For example, blocking eyesight, hiding secrets, and slowing down those who want to get in and out. It also works differently, like hallucinating, intoxicating, and getting people lost forever in a foggy, never-marked-on-a-map road. He is shrewd and insidious, but smart guys are everywhere, especially now and here. What we have to do is wait. Wait for it. But not for too long, or that's just being stupid. You know, a proper wait. Wait for it. The show is about to begin. You'll see the most magnificent performance of all time. Oh, of course you can join it. Stand in the center, bring your pretty suitcase, hold your umbrella, and give us a badass fight. Wait and see. The fog between black dogs and white dogs won't last for long. You can't escape the biting, tearing, and bleeding. Grab your popcorns, my love. Then sit tight, hold still. You may cry or may not. I don't give a fuck. No, you are not awake yet. You are still drowned in this mire of meditation, sticky, swampy and dark. Welcome to the nihility, you nasty, curious Pandora. You might be in an ocean, a well, the base of a ring finger, whatever. After the frantic invitation, you are rewarded some mold-like bruises on your legs. The Paramecia think this gift will freak you out. But for you, the invisible wounds are much more severe. Don't worry, they are not gentle at all. Neither are you benign. A group of people in gowns. Their gowns are made of white polyester and are over knee length. There are 7, namely number 1 to number 7. Probably only those odd number guys are here. Or maybe number 4 or 6 is with them. Damn it, I don't care. What matters is that your classmate is among them. No, not the gentle and loyal one who always stands by your side. It is the other one. The one with a clean cut and indifferent edge that feels like a refined machine. Never mind her given name. Just take a glance at her glorious family name. Like sherry cask whiskeys to the alcoholic, Upman's cedar-aged Robusto Cameroons to smokers, and the Mesmers to the arcanists. You dumbass. Love your humor. Yeah, you're right. Bougie. Long ago, long ago, you might have had the chance to experience such a period. When humans chose to live without prayers, then Laplace started to cooperate with them. Oh, scholars, as they call themselves. They suffocate the flame of awareness. They help your free-falling to the bottom of the abyss. Like this. It's really hard finding an arcanist who can freely master such skill. As you know, scarcity causes tragedy. That was the start of her nightmare. When the child labor law was turned into a piece of wrinkled paper to wrap the sandwich. The 12-year-old girl was then led to a room. Before she stepped in, she already grasped the messy magnetic field with her acute sensitivity. Compared to humans, arcanists are much more emotionally vulnerable. It's extremely easy to awaken the demon that lives inside them. The Mesmers are merciful and professional. They welcome every patient to treat their disorder. By then, you should realize the wrapping paper was never protecting the sandwich, but the hand. The mustard from an unknown bottle, the squeezed meatloaf, and rusty lettuce leaf. All were crushed and fell out from between the bread. Void, foul, and raspy screaming, this filth contaminated the little girl's hands and corrupted the white polyester. It is indeed a good time for silence. Now you've noticed those exposed wounds on the machine, those marks from repeated washing and adjustments. Well, the traumata from childhood is usually hard to forget. Those memories are engraved in our heart and run through our veins. Eventually, they contaminate every single neuron with mucus snot. Since then, every inch of growth is an extension of pain. New bones will be eroded, and the condition can't be cured by cellular renewal. Both you and her are familiar with this. Okay, take your suitcase. Now it's time. Get lost. plain and simple as if it were depicted solely in lines. A pale pillow that might not bring you sweet dreams. The light sheds in and fills half of the room. Oh, amazing. Now you fall in love with the guardhouse. Let me take another can of beer. Congratulations. You are mad or artistic. Either of them deserves celebration. You are really a master. I'm sure you can't wait to explain why Donald Judd didn't name his boxes. All of these were the doings of the rational brain of humans. Philosophy intertwines with aesthetics, and together they stagger ahead till today, till the past. Complexity replaced simplicity. Civilization vanished another civilization. Suddenly, one day, when they turned back and stared at the abyss, they found that giant cadaver. Fortunately, it's not too late. The solution is simple. Since they first abandoned the idea of forms, then discarded the concept of minds, and now they wipe out emotions and metaphors. Everything has returned to the most substantial state. A square is just a square, nothing else. Even a stupid 3-year-old knows subtraction. Minimalism. I have to say, this is a good thing. It proves to the entire universe that the intelligent primates are not that incurable. Art is adopted to shield agony and consumerism. Such behavior is as gentle as your new stepmother. Within years, continuous subtraction will finally cover the whole planet with trees again. Monkeys will then eat the fruits. To a brand new future, you dumbass. A discolored group photo with burnt and brittle edges. Such meticulous preservation still failed to prevent its fate from being eroded by time. The photo is blurry. It is only merely recognizable that people in it had black hair. At the bottom, there is a sentence, perhaps written in a mystical Eastern language. You have no idea and can't recall anything. You have never met them. This is the deduction you made. Except for the third one from the right in the second row. You know her. She looks a bit younger than the one in your memory. The 2 pigtail braids fall on the side of her cheek. The eyes behind that pair of black framed glasses are as deep and composed as a deer's. Commemoration for international students at Imperial College London, 19-something to 19-something. A line of elegant writing with a hint of bronzing. All the critical information is here. I mean, this is good news. Nowadays, the year is no longer important. The East, a vast land to the west coast of the Pacific. The ferry she took once crossed the Strait of Gibraltar and the Suez Canal. Watch your words, you little badass. This is not a bedtime story, and I am not your sweet grandfather. You know her, but you're not a close acquaintance of hers. Neither am I. There is someone else who knows her well. She has cut her hair short now, like a drop of dew on the lily petal, shaking underneath the calyx. Here? Technically speaking, her initial destination was not here. Not this gray and white building, nor under the umbrella, nor the calyx. She is an expert at theoretical physics and studies string theory. She voyaged across the ocean in order to return to the land with vitality. Her plan, however, was interrupted by a sudden change, because that lily always has the means to navigate everything to develop as her expectation. Good question. She has no thirst nor desire. Homeland is awaiting. How could a scientist become a politician? I do hope I could steadfastly answer you like this. But you've noticed it, right? You've sensed it. Now the cat has been locked back in the chamber. The entrance has been tightly secured by the victimizer. Both you and I couldn't do anything but be driven mad outside, like those gamblers in a soccer bet. Tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow, we'll lose it all. Fall back into the crowd, I understand. I can feel the desire and depression burning deep inside your brain. You are longing to be a part of an absurd, broken, bizarre Arcanum story, which is beyond your imagination and past experience. But sorry, I can't help but laugh. You got into some trouble and have to run around blindly among those in white robes like a panicked ant. Come on, close your eyes. Imagine inside a TV with static noise. A red-nosed bad guy opens his arms to you and says, "Welcome to the human world." I know, dude. Just as confusing as the big shots at a podium. They stand there with a mic in their hands. Their uvula would tremble before they speak.
Hello, hello. Testing, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Comma.
Everyone has to wait for what will happen with a full bladder and an empty stomach. Listen, this is not just a world of arcanists. Arcanists, arcanum creatures, and even arcanum itself are but insignificant existence hidden beneath all else. You must learn about those who are in power at the present moment. They live on the other side of the earth, setting rules on the thrones in the scarcely populated wilderness. For the order, for the vision, for the happiness that satisfies the majority, yet sacrifices the minority. They live a life full of wars and deals, building a pyramid that symbolizes supreme power with skeletons of the commoners. No, I'm not telling a lame villain story. On the contrary, it's a boring documentary about those in power standing between the sky and the earth, seeking the real meaning of fairness and ideals. There's still plenty of time. Go ahead, keep moving, but don't jump to any conclusion. Just make sure you're always on the way, so you will learn more about humans. More and more. Take the microscope with you and dig into the rotten history of those poor little things. Sounds of different colors go into your left ear and slip out from your nostrils. just like a toboggan sliding down a soft piste from a cabin up the mountain to the finishing line at the foot, leaving nothing but excitement that doesn't even last. What did you say? I got bad signal here. Oh, bad signal indeed. I mean, I may be different from all of you, but I have a conscience, okay? I never talk shit, that's the bottom line. What I said were all felicitous hints. I'm sure you have noticed it. Between the glacier and the valley, between the snow mountain and the lake, stands a great building we're all familiar with. Close your eyes and feel the patterns of interlaced gray and white. The flow of the building, so balanced and symmetrical, is like a sophisticated symphony with beautiful melody. That may be your first impression of the Foundation. After that committee meeting, however, all I could see on your face was a terrible mess, like it was licked by a terrier which had just finished hunting. What the fuck are they talking about? Who can explain their relations for me? Good question. In this lonely, whirling, dark universe, I'm the only one who was willing to tell you all these stories on the cold bench in the park. You haven't met him yet. Actually, only few have, as the opportunities are always fleeting like the falling stars. But it's okay. The Foundation still works well without him. Our responsible Constantine, working without any complaint like an unbreakable lily, is trying hard to change the Foundation's direction to what she believes to be correct. Come on. Let's look at the bigger picture. The brilliant folds in the human brains tell them they need the powers to separate and control each other. And bang, there come the committee, the House of the Integratus, and many other administration departments. The House of the Integratus and the committee are in charge of lawmaking, not just in the Foundation, but in countries and even in the global society. Those eyes behind the thick, fancy reading glasses review whatever has something to do with the relationship between humans and arcanists. The committee has the right to approve or reject the proposals from delegates. Well, of course, some of the delegates are very stubborn. They will keep submitting their proposals again and again, no matter how many times it has been rejected. Just like a shrike trying to protect the fledglings until it's beat dead. When it comes to the formal debate, you will get to watch a dogfight full of the essence of modern civilization. Everyone, including the president, the delegates, the parties, and the expert groups, becomes a maniac in the arena of power. After this stage, the final result depends on the White Marble House. They seldom express their opinions, but they will, sometimes. Oh, yes. Look how polite you are when you ask that question. Like I'm some high school student working part-time in a mall selling local socks to you. And I'd be very nice and tell you, of course. We must not ignore the other administration departments of the Foundation, as well as the headquarters' poor branches located in different countries, and the humanitarian school of primary defense of mankind that works like a poorhouse. Remember, the Foundation is managing the whole world. Of course, they need some rules that are hard to understand. So the wise will be wiser, and the silly will be sillier, while those in the middle will show an innocent smile when they die. Humans are experts at these things. My stupid arcanists, don't just complain. Learn to see what they're after, okay? feel their brains overflowed between the lines of rules. So one day you will understand. Life is like a ride on the toboggan. That was a good sleep, dude. You drooled everywhere. Almost glued my eyelids. You didn't expect there to be so many complicated, confusing factions in the Foundation. Can't they just make this institution simpler so that people can tell one group from another easily? Like telling the difference between cake layers? The Foundation is a mess. Listen up. It drifts along the chaotic swirl between order and disorder, enticing countless idealists and realists to come over. The storm exacerbates the chaos. Those arcanists who were snorkeling are now surfacing. You see, Miss Z is a great example. She is even sitting at the same conference table with the human elites. The undercurrents, however, are still lurking. Natural Resource Committee, Mankind Caucus, Culture and Education Department. Their members are hard to differentiate given the intricate backgrounds. They bustled for benefits and mired in countless trivial matters. You see, you need to divide them into groups, and divide until you break a huge entity into small groups, as small as possible. That's when they are able to clean the vomit on the living room floor effectively and emotionlessly. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Yes, an imitation show. A ball imitation show, little thing. You're imitating the Messiah, while I'm imitating an orange ball made of plastic. Being pushed back and forth by two rackets, I have nowhere else to go. Once they apply a force on me, I can't help bouncing to the sky. You can see how the air flows across my dry, wrinkled skin. Oh, what a coincidence. Aren't you in the same situation as mine now? Ha! Look at your frowning face. Your face wrinkles from the eyebrows to the nose tip, but people can barely see those light furrows. We know what that means. You have a poker face, and it's never your fault. But for now, your face is not the thing that matters. Well, maybe for someone it is, but still, it's not. You know what really matters? The game. Yes, it's the game. Of course the game matters. Everyone loves the game. They gather at the stadium yelling or roaring vehemently. They choose one team to become its fan and spend good money on a team uniform or an autographed ball. Yet, it's just a ball. You see where I'm coming from? Just a ball. Its outline, a circle, could be found in any geometry textbook and anywhere in this world. When the first hominid picked up a coconut and threw it to the sky, and caught it, and threw it, and caught it, and threw it again, when she felt joy and yelped, had she ever thought of the future? The future where a simple ball has become so complicated and enchanting. Now we call it the present. Yes, sure. Complicated and enchanting. Use your silly and smart head to think about this ball game carefully. The complex scoring rules, the harsh requirements for reactive agility, the countless possible foul points. Your fingers, your wrists and arms, a correct way of using them will lead to victory. What matters more is, like every ball game, it focuses on how you serve the ball and hit it back. It's not an easy job as it sounds. When you are in the game, you need to concentrate. Where will the ball come from and how will you return it to your opponent? You need to figure that out within half a second. Use your power in a proper way. Move your feet in a stable pace. Inhale and exhale at the right timings. Ping, pong, ping, pong, ping, pong, ping, pong. The sound will last forever and ever, until that bouncing little thing falls to either side of the court. Look at where you are. Paulina also once stood here. A human, a member of the St. Pavlov Foundation. She started from here, took 33 steps and a half, turned left, opened the door, and then turned right, went on for another 5 meters. She stopped and opened the historic intelligence cabinet. Human-like, a standard human. Grave-looking, rational thinking, efficient acting. She was digging in the files. The only touch of bright color on her was across her neck, a blue polka dot scarf tied in the French way. The scarf was there to cover up a nevus on her skin, a lonely dark spot that lacks a symmetric counterpart on the other side of the neck. Is a mark too random and out of place to exist. She did not like it. It was the 1931 file, or the 1935 one. She hasn't gotten there yet. But there is another folder which has caught her attention. On December 28th, 1932, on the wonderful day of the Holy Innocents in Mexico, 13 Arcanist High School students attacked the crowd during the nighttime celebration. They claimed the oracle had uttered to them, from the inside of a gigantic Cordia Ilianoides, that they had to shoulder the responsibility to protect the people. So they took their wands and knives, carried bottles of potion of concocted picric acid and nitrocellulose, and walked into the festival market like any regular happy young people. Their attack led to 17 deaths. 6 were injured, among which 4 were disabled for life. One young girl among the attackers couldn't physiologically stop her hysterical laughter, even when she was under arrest. She quivered convulsively, with her hands twitching tightly on 31-centimeter long pruning shears. She kept muttering the word Bacoti, which is the common way to call the Cordia Ilianoides among the lumber dealers. In the Aztec civilization, it means giant mouth. Any mouth can talk. In this case of mass hysteria, this was the one true rule. Hysteria, madness, paranoia, hearing voices or seeing things. These abnormalities are the sparks flying in the air, and Arcanists are like dry cotton. The encounter of the two will cause a fire. Paulina complained quietly. She accused the danger of fire, the risk of heat. One can hardly hold no grudges against the flame when it is hidden next to you patiently, waiting. She started to mutter some words of a more extreme nature. She was carried away, overlooking the individuals in a collective body. She forgot what society can do to subtly influence a community. Her eyes were fixed on the scarlet flame. Racist thoughts crept silently into her blonde-haired, beautiful head like a cunning centipede. Fortunately, this is not yet the end of the story. Paulina still had her chances to change. Change. Yes, an alteration. Everybody has to change. You can improve your living standards, pay for prettier white clothes, drive around in a limo painted in bright pink. Anything to prove that you are as much of a man as those tough warriors in ancient Europe. Or you can try the bitter side of life. A life so bad that every weekend you have nowhere to go but lie on a couch hollowed out by your dog and pick your nose. You pick it hard just to locate and take out the hardest, largest booger that irritates your nasal membranes to stop the endless sneezing. The change of Paulina started from a question. A senior staff of the Foundation walked to her, flipping through the pages of the same folder, and asked, "But Paulina, how are you going to deal with the fire?" On the next page, the survivors started a new life under the supportive measures, and the crazy children have left their poor family, leaving the violence and harassment behind, and moved into a sanatorium with white walls. The record of the follow-up visits showed that they have stayed mentally stable since. They learned to calm themselves and overcame drug addiction and alcohol abuse. Some of them were even married. Between the last 2 pages, there lies a thank you letter. The name signed at the end of the letter went on for 2 lines, and the last name ends with a cheerful strike going up, like a smiley face. The fire is always there, Paulina. We need to find a way to live with it, not to extinguish it. Keep them somewhere safe, like a high shelf, and away from the fuel. Watch over the temperature. Maybe teach them to burn in a manner that no one, including themselves, would be hurt. Division and confrontation have never taken this world to a better place, have they? They went on talking for a bit more, about the responsibilities of this job, about personal liabilities, about hatred, about the minorities, about the practices that ought to be taken to realize ideas. Young Paulina had changed. Drops of tears seep out from the bottom of that pair of beautiful green eyes. I shed tears with her, of course. Sadly, I was busy sucking the flavoring powder on chips off my fingers and missed the right moment to wipe those tears off my face. Nevertheless, this is my favorite episode. We should watch it again. Look at where you are. Paulina also once stood here. Look at where you are. Paulina also once stood here. The story has come to a new stage. It is fascinating. It has plots of unwavering loyalty, survival from the jaws of death, and even a little bit of unconventional excitement. Raise your head, and you will see this splendid spotlight grilling the top of our heads like a stove heating a frying pan. We mumble and mumble and mumble. Something like arcanists, new changes, perseverance, and the storm. Right, that's it, the storm. The storm is no longer something new here. Everyone in the story talks about the storm. People don't find it attractive anymore. Once you turn the camera out of the spotlight, you'll see many other people on the stage. Many other fucking people. The other actors who are different from you. Their name won't be listed in the cast at the end of the movie. Not even a poor St. Pavlov's squad leader A. They're a bunch of people. A bunch of people just like you. Though there are still differences between you and them. Open their bellies and you can find everything that should be there. The liver, the stomach, the spleen, the lungs, and the heart. Their faces are clear to be seen. Look at them carefully. Carefully. Oh, you might have met one or two of them. They come from the same institution as yours. The St. Pavlov Foundation. Eve from the France branch, La from the Egypt branch, and the Matryoshka from the Russia branch. Oh, right. Your first friend made in a branch. That That young man with the red nose. Ken from the Scotland branch. You looked here, you looked there, you couldn't find him anywhere, however hard you tried. Good question. I'll help you find him. Let's keep looking around, but this time vertically instead of horizontally. That's right, upside vertical. Don't be afraid of that radiant spotlight. Look there. Ignore the risk of blinding your eyes. And you see it. A white umbrella, bigger and wider than any umbrella you have seen. Those green flashes stinging your eyes is the price you have to pay for finding it. The white umbrella is a shelter from the rain, saving that orange-haired girl in white for you. And you have witnessed how people standing in the pouring storm without shelter fade away. Like your little friends and Ken from the Scotland branch. Remember the differences I just mentioned? A great time to keep silent. Your ugly trauma, a mixture of your mental issues and miserable past, would burst out in the next second, making everyone's heart twitch. But think otherwise. If the truth were known to all, today's not real and there's no tomorrow. I'm going to eat my shoes and an asteroid is falling. Then all of them would go crazy. Those pigeons valuing sense above anything won't sit aside and let this happen. So they made the most sensible choice. The huge white umbrella has only sheltered those qualified people. Qualified according to their standard. Now, let's cross our arms and make an arrogant judgment like those cynics. How cruel it is! And then you may start contemplating. Should they all go aboard the Ark? Can this Ark carry this many people? Try to raise the question as peacefully and slowly as you can, and their enthusiasm will be dampened and let out a sound like what you hear when you pour water into a heated pan. Their feelings. Oh, they. You mean Eve, La, and the Matryoshka. Of course you care about your friends. That's a virtue of yours I won't forget. In order to understand their feelings, you need to bend down and reach. That's right, reach for the dark corner under the stage. Until your fingertip is wrapped by soft, warm, and considerate black velvet, as comfortable as a mother's singing to her baby in a crib. That's what the people without a shelter above them are feeling now. More silence. You are really good at finding the right timing for your silence. Just like my friend and I are experts in farting soundlessly in the elevator cart. My hypocrite and dumb friend. Think about it in a different way. Who knows how much garbage there is under the stage? There may be liquid seeping out of rotten pastry and dairy products, intrusions of American cockroach with sleek abdomen crawling everywhere. Who can say it's not a blessing to know nothing about the truth? Especially when you can't leave this shitty place. Ha 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 ha!